Hi everybody, welcome back to DayZ 1.21, and I thought I would share a couple of bugs that I've heard about, one that I've actually seen, and we'll also go through the list of known bugs that Bohemia Interactive and the DayZ devs know about, so that if you're a server owner and you're thinking, why is this happening, why are my players coming to me with these complaints, then you'll have a better understanding of what is happening now and what will be happening to fix these. So first off, there are reports that players are falling through or being able to get through objects that are spawned using the Json object spawner. So I guess what that means is people will kind of fall through floors or be able to run through fences and gates, maybe falling through ramps, maybe getting through walls. I haven't been able to recreate that myself, but I haven't got that many structures around here to test it on. But you'll know when people come to you and they'll say, oh, I was trying to climb up here and my character fell through and died. Can I have all my stuff back, please? That sort of stuff. So that's happening. Now, the one that I have noticed is this one. Let's just get rid of this crossbow first. And that is certain types of loot, when placed using an object spawner, aren't quite where they should be. So these are the tables that I have up at my test area, and I have all this loot that I place down to do tutorial videos, and can you see how lots of it is kind of floating? Now when I do these, I don't take hours and hours setting stuff out like the people who do the traders, but I've had feedback from people who do traders, and they've got the same problem, where it appears that the altitude of stuff, or the Y coordinate I guess of things, doesn't seem to be right. Something's happened with this update and it's causing stuff to not quite spawn where it is, not by much, but by enough to really make things not line up. Obviously if you're building something not quite accurate, doesn't really matter with objects like this, but if you've got a trader where you've got boxes lined up, and it's quite interesting. So you can see here the table's fine, the table's where it should be, the sea chest is fine, the barrels are fine, but these tents, they're floating, and this dry bag is floating. Wooden chest fine, logs are floating, NBC pants fine, NBC jacket floating, these wheels are floating, they're floating, improvised stuff, but you'd make that anyway, so it doesn't really count. Again, tables are okay, greenhouse is fine, the building is fine, that's all spawned in exactly where it should do. But when we come in here, we see this fruit, some of it is floating, so the pear is floating, the apple isn't floating. So this is a very interesting little bug, but at least you'll know about it. Now the other things that they've mentioned, the other known issues are, so player can fall through some structures, spawn through the object spawner. Fix is already in testing, and temporary solution is to change the scale to be slightly less or more than 1. So you have to decide whether it's worth doing that or not. Player position on server can be desynced while in combat with infected enemies. Player can fall through terrain or object when going prone. Other players can hear characters groan when landing from a small height. Arrow disappears right after removing from crossbow. I think they mean the bolt there, don't they? The bolt disappears right after removing from crossbow. A bolt is missing from the crossbow after reconnecting. Bolt stuck in AI can be picked up in your inventory but not taken into hands. Bolts stuck in an item sometimes disappear when taken into inventory. I noticed one actually where you couldn't load a bolt from the floor directly into your crossbow. You could if you combine them in your inventory, but although the tooltip was on the screen to load it, it wouldn't do it for me. String is not stretched when the crossbow is on shoulder or in the inventory. Minutes and second values are swapped while logging out with French setup. Cancelling the pulling back of the crossbow string will show it as loaded. Plants rock spawned by object spawner are deleted after interaction. Loot spawned with object spawn does not despawn if moved. Interesting. Yeah, well, that last one isn't really a bug, to be honest. If someone moves something, you want it to be normal, don't you? So anyway, so they're the ones that they've listed that they know about. Please, 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 if you do get a problem, go over to the feedback tracker. I'll put a link in the description below the video and make a nice constructive comment about it, including as much details as you can, because some of these bugs can be quite difficult to recreate. So the more different circumstances that the DayZ devs have to have a go at recreating these problems, will enable them to fault find a lot easier, to solve the problems and get those hot fixes out as fast as they can to help us out. So there we go, there's the known bugs so far. If you know of any others, please link them, please put them in the description below the video after you've been to the feedback tracker and reported them to DayZ. Obviously I've got my lovely crossbow back, and I hope everybody's having fun with this update. Doesn't seem to be too much wrong with it apart from that, and really enjoying this this update, especially with the crossbow. Absolutely love it. Anyway, that's enough from me. I'll stop waffling. If you've enjoyed the video, hit like. If you want to see more of the same, press subscribe, and I will of course see you again soon.